Beat on the brass with a baseball.
Continue the tradition of starting in the middle of a conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Side C podcast, NSFW. Before we get started, we would just like to say I'm joined by my co-hosts. I'm Victor. I'm joined by my co-host Jake Quake, Pride of Barstow, and the new guy Matt Wilkins. We are now the
we can take it better than Newstead.
yeah. We are
exactly
continuing on with the Side C podcast. Eric Nesbitt has mutually parted ways. Best of luck on your future endeavors, and we'll just keep it at that. So, but make sure you guys still stay active on whatever it is that you guys do, including the Quad City Music Lovers, Collectors, and Traders page. The Side C page is great. But anyways, like I said, I'm here with my boys, and we are at Next Level Fitness in Moline, 3102 29th Street, and we are joined by our partner, our one of our sponsors, Albert Myers, once again. So thank you for coming back.
Thank you, sir.
You guys can come up.
It was short notice, but you accommodated very well, and beautiful place here, man. It's great. We're in the studio, right?
The classroom.
The classroom where you have various MMA classes. Do you do like Zumba or anything in here?
We do have Zumba.
Oh, there you
Zumba, you name it. Zumba, Pilates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you name it.
Awesome, man. And like I said, great place.
What's that?
Do you have fencing?
We do not have fencing.
Oh.
I've got some around the pool. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's law.
So
keep the riffraff
make sure
out.
you guys literally keep riffraff out because he is garbage. Make sure you guys come to Next Level Fitness, man. They got a Facebook page. They got all that good stuff. And I saw our Side C podcast shirt hanging up there, and that was awesome. So thank you, sir. Albert is rocking it, which we do have those available. We'll plug all that stuff on the Facebook, but make sure you guys check out that stuff and give us some love, man. First off, let me pay the bills real quick, guys. We got Ragged Records. I do not have the sheet on me, so
They're
Ragged
off the
Records.
foot of the Arsenal Bridge.
Yeah, right on the foot of the Arsenal Bridge in Davenport. So make sure you guys check out Ragged Records. Make sure you check out our other partners, Ribco. They have Nashville Pussy coming up September 4th, I believe. So we may have a ticket to give away, so stay tuned for that. Ribco, downtown Rock Island on 2nd Avenue. And don't forget, on Tuesdays, they have Turntable Tuesdays down at Ribco. 20 minutes of your own vinyl. I was bummed. Did any of you guys make it out to that show, the Jessica Wilkes?
No.
I heard it was good, so I'm bummed that I missed it. But they did Jessica Wilkes' performance at 8, and then they did Turntable Tuesdays the rest of the night. So
They got killer burger baskets.
yeah,
on Tuesdays,
awesome
too.
burger basket, awesome stuff, man. So make sure you guys check out Ribco, check out Ragged Records, and our awesome sponsors, Next Level Fitness, man. So Pool Man Mark Reedy, we'll get all that stuff on. We'll have all the info for him, and we'll go from there, man. Just give all that stuff a like, because that's how we keep this thing going. So pretty simple day today. I know, like I said, thank you for having us again, Albert, man. So what's been going on, man? What's up with the gym? Just business as usual.
Business as usual. Yeah. Doing classes.
Classes.
Watching people sweat.
Yeah, which
It's a
is
good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing for you here. So, but again, man, awesome place here, and we're hoping to come back. But you have. I just want to mention Albert. Like he says, he always has show and tell. I did snap a picture of them. These little kiss rings. So what's the story on these, by the way?
Oh, I probably got those original. I still even have the magazine where I cut out the ad to send for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
awesome.
found it was just a weird. I was cleaning out a box, and I already had the rings in a completely different box.
Yeah.
A little box in a drawer, so I knew where those were at. But then I just ran across the magazine and I flipped through it, and of course, one page is always goofy because you cut out a big square.
Yeah,
right.
And it was the ring. It was
That's
where I
awesome.
ordered the rings from, so
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy crap!" So of course I took
What-
a picture of it.
What magazine was?
I couldn't
It
even
was
tell
just
you.
probably like
It was
a-
probably a Kiss magazine.
Yeah, probably
front
because
to back Kiss.
that it was
They
probably
did
in
that all
that.
the time.
It was
Back
probably
then there was Cream,
Yeah,
Creem, Cream,
yeah,
got that. one all
and
the
then
time.
there was Hit Parader
Prayer.
and Circus.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was probably one of those.
Yeah.
Or maybe was it in their Kiss comic book where they had the blood infused in the ink? Did you guys know about that?
Oh gosh, yes.
yeah.
No, but you know another name drop, Kenny McKnight.
Yeah.
I had that. I had that comic book, right?
Yeah.
And I let him borrow it. He took it to Arizona and lost it.
Oh, how pissed! How pissed were you? That's why you don't talk to this day.
He was gone for a few years, so it burned
Yeah.
off. The
Oh.
anger burned out.
Oh.
But still,
Well, that's good.
the second one, it doesn't make up.
Well, we will get a picture of those because those are really sweet. I don't think they fit me. I mean, not even my
Yeah,
pinky.
there's a
But,
tiny pinky.
yeah. Anyways,
They're
so
adjustable.
but they're yeah they are.
Probably not
But,
so much anymore.
yeah, I wouldn't. I don't even want
Yeah,
to bet
they're-
them. So,
they're
but they're
old.
pretty
Yeah,
awesome,
probably
man.
from about 79.
Oh,
I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vintage, I
79.
guess. Would that
They
that
are
could
vintage.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
they
would
used to be a little
considered-
clearer, but with
Yeah.
age they yellow.
Oh, for sure. But it gives them that vintage look because they
Yeah.
are. So
Well, that and they made them for 2 cents a piece back.
there you go.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh. But anyways, so thanks for sharing those, man. We'll get that up. News, real quick. Just a little couple of things that we kind of found hilarious this week. And awesome. Dave Grohl once again at it with his fan. What show? Were they out overseas or no?
I don't know if they were in Canada since they did a Rush show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I thought it was the guy was actually really good too.
Was he? Did he have that Geddy Lee voice that Matt
He,
loves?
no, but he did hit some high notes, and Dave's look on his face was priceless.
Yeah.
He's like, "Holy shit,
This guy's
he
got
hit
it."
the note."
Yeah.
And it was just really cool. He's like, when he brought him up, he goes, "You better not screw this up here." So I'm guessing
Yeah.
they were in Canada.
No,
So-
yeah. I was looking at a post of this earlier, and a buddy of mine, I think we talked about him before, he got pulled up to play with Rise Against, and I can only imagine what's going through these guys' mind, especially at a Foo Fighters show. This guy was probably sitting in front of like 10,000 people, at
Right.
least. So,
Ridiculous.
yeah, I mean,
How
could you
not
imagine?
be how could you not just freeze up?
Yeah,
Right,
or shit
right.
your pants,
Yeah.
literally.
I
So-
mean, you're on stage with obviously Grohl and Pat Smear.
the up and coming legendary, soon to be future legendary.
Sit in your bedroom and just whiz away on your guitar, and then you
Yeah.
sit down next to BB King and you freeze up. Like,
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Like somebody hit you in the back of the head with a
Yeah.
sledgehammer.
Yeah.
My
Dun,
fingers
dun,
won't move.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Ding,
dude.
ding, ding, ding,
I am bummed because they did open up some tickets for their Chicago show at Wrigley Field, which I will never, ever step foot on. But I almost considered it because they had general admission tickets. I think they ended up selling out anyways. I was at work. So that kind of cleared that up for me. But, I would like to go see Naked Raygun, Screeching Weasel, and Cheap Trick, and one other band is going to be on that. So that show is going to be awesome. But my morals just won't let me go to Wrigley
They
Field.
just won their 7th game in a row today.
I don't care. Who
Hit
cares?
5 home runs.
It's like I always say though, you say that about the Cubs, and that's fine, but it's kind of like being the prettiest girl at a leper colony. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, stuff's going to start falling off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but let us have this moment right
Like
now.
your labia.
I have to say, though, that catch that Rizzo made,
Yeah.
that was
I
dope.
did see that.
Yeah.
I did see
That was dope.
Other news: Ned Flanders, Oakley Dokley, the band. You guys need to check this out. Did you guys see all that on Blowing Up today?
I saw it. I just hope that they're not completely horrendous. I usually bands that have some kind of gimmick, minus 80s hair bands,
Yeah.
have no talent whatsoever. But I mean, and that's what they're going to rely on. So
Yeah, gee, gimmick bands don't last, do they?
Yeah.
Or
well, besides Kiss.
Here we go. Hold on.
Besides
I was gonna
Kiss.
say we have the rings here.
or Slipknot.
Or
Or
Okay,
Mushroom Head's still around.
Mushroom Head.
fair enough. Fair enough.
The ICP's still around. The Juggalos.
Yeah, and just follow the
I said
stench.
bands.
Okay, yes, you're right. That wouldn't consist of a band, but really quick, let me just give a shout out to my my boys over here, Donnie and Jeff, for joining us. So thanks thank you for showing up and supporting.
Oh, we love it.
Jeff is the one that makes all the magic happen, and Donnie's my Eskimo brother, so we'll just leave it at that. But let's get right to it. Albert, you know how this works, guys. Obviously, we've done this, so I'll lead us off. In case you, because you only had a day, so
Yes.
I'll give you your time here. But I'll lead us off. I'll continue on with my trend of wanting to do something from Riot Fest. Yeah, do something from Riot Fest each week until Riot Fest. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off with No Doubt, because No Doubt is the headliner for Friday, and I'm doing Tragic Kingdom. And, this is one that I actually hold dear to my heart, because my mother, when I had to go live in Texas for a little bit, when she came down to visit, she had all these tapes and CDs, because this is about the time CDs were starting to take over cars and whatnot. So this Tragic Kingdom was actually one of the ones in her little collection there that she had in her box. And being curious and fascinated by the compact disc as a young kid in 1995, I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, and I would throw it on, and it was just, it's one of those that is just a really fun album and an enjoyable album. So, and it was kind of, it was, Spice Girls were getting big around that time, and I was in love with everything and all those girls. And then I see this chick with the rock band, like, I was the young guy, so I didn't know, Janis Joplin or any of those other, Patti Smiths or whatever. I didn't know back then. I didn't have a really great appreciation of ladies in bands, because I just, I was a boy. I was like, oh, they got cooties, whatever. But Gwen Stefani with that little dress on, I loved it. So
all the music videos that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, and the cover of the CD.
Yeah, the cover of the CD too.
But
Who did?
yeah, but lo and behold, I was surprised that there was this awesome kind of music that I had never really, paid mind to, as far as what genre, which it could be argued because there's a few different styles that they use in it, right? But the main one being ska. So that kind of opened that little bit of world up to me.
I think what impressed me the most was I saw them on a show on like Beach MTV or something like that, whenever they used to have that back then. And she was singing, and it was during the guitar part or whatever. She did like 10 push-ups, and then jumped up and started singing again.
In the middle of the
and was not winded.
That was like her thing. Like even one of the videos when they cut away to like live clips, she'd be on the stage doing push-ups.
Really?
Yeah. Just I don't know.
Staying active.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because she can.
everybody should do that right now. Let's go.
You're only going to get like one from
You get a half
get
me
one
going down and
collectively.
falling.
Yeah, one collectively. So, but yeah, you're right. But again, she kind of the band collectively opened up a little bit more of a variety for me, because, like I said, my mom had a lot of random stuff. She had En Vogue, and she had Garth Brooks, Reba, Brandy, and whatever that other girl's name was. The Boy Is Mine. I don't know. But Tragic Kingdom was in there, and Chumbawamba for some reason. I don't know. That might have been a little
Their
bit.
old stuff was really
stuff,
good.
so-
Like Chumbawamba, like before that.
Yeah.
Tub
Okay, Gray
thumping.
Thompson.
I'm serious.
The first album was great. Everything after was shit. So. But again, like obviously the ones that people know. There was Hey You, Just a Girl, Spiderwebs. Don't Speak was awesome. I still like that song to this day. Like, it's a really good song. I did it on karaoke once as a duet with somebody. It was kind of fun. It was.
That's awesome.
I probably shouldn't have, but I
I
did.
just think it's funny that it's written about the bass player.
Yeah, that's right. And I was trying to find the name of that, but it's not Tony, is it? Is Tony the bass player?
I think it is.
Is it Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they're all back. They're all back together, and I'm excited to see them at Riot Fest. So, but the album was great. Like I said,
The
it got
album's flawless.
2
really.
Grammy nods. They went on a 2-year support tour of it. 2.5 years. It's crazy. So
That's a long tour.
to pull a full on tour like that for 2 years is great.
Well, that's when touring really mattered.
Yeah.
And actually made money off of it.
And that's when the numbers actually mattered. 16 million. 16 million copies.
That's
Diamond certified.
yeah. That's diamond plus some.
Yeah, so, I mean, just, and the other reason I think why they're performing it is because it's the 20-year anniversary. It came out October '95. So,
they're doing that whole album?
yeah, I think they are doing
that'd be a
Treasure.
great show.
So
That'd be a great show.
It will be really fun, man. And like I said, they're headlining Friday, and I can't wait to see it.
So hopefully you want to listen to their newer stuff.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
Hey Baby or whatever. That
Yeah,
song
hey
was
baby.
called.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna go on the record. I love that song.
Are you a hard
I have that song on my
Is it
phone
on your,
currently.
is it on your workout mix?
It is.
What about you, Albert?
Yeah,
is it
it's
on your
my
workout mix?
Yeah, look at me. It's on my workout mix.
No, it's not on
12
Albert's
ounce
either.
curl
So.
mix.
But
Yeah.
awesome album. I can listen to it front to back and be okay with that every
yeah.
time. So, something fun, something different, something we got to remember because people might just know Gwen Stefani just from being Gwen Stefani, but she was in this amazing band. So, I thought it was fun to bring it back.
So they were kind of different than everybody else. What was going on?
Yep.
And so that really got him noticed.
Yeah, because like started.
Plus, she's a little bit of eye candy doesn't.
Yeah.
Help that
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
doesn't hurt.
No, especially in the age of MTV.
If you think about it, though, there was a sound that was coming out of that area in California at the time.
Yeah.
No Doubt was definitely a pioneer with that, and Sublime
Sublime.
was another
Yeah,
one.
big time.
And so you listen to that stuff, and it was so clean. It was just, when you listen to these albums now, it's like, wow, they still hold up because they're just that good.
Yeah.
311. I mean,
was
Tragic
part of
Kingdom
that, right.
is a great album.
Yeah.
front to back.
Yeah.
Which it's funny now because like when people listen to music, it's on their iPods. Or
Yeah.
it's
So
on.
they can skip the song.
Well, not only that, you don't even listen to a full album. You just buy the track that you want to listen to and
Yeah.
screw the rest of
it's
it.
too bad.
Which is really a shame because you're missing out on a lot of great music, and it takes away from the whole aspect of a band putting together a full album and not just, well, nobody's gonna buy the other eight or nine tracks that we do, so let's just make two really good tracks. And throw on a bunch of filler and be done with it. 'Cause
Sell them a la carte.
Yeah.
right,
But,
right,
But like I said, when my mom pulled up with it and I was like, hey, can I borrow this? She's like, you want to listen to it? I was like, yeah. I would actually fall asleep to it sometimes. So it was cool, man.
Solid album.
It always has a special place in my heart. And so
It's got that beachy feel.
Yeah.
Kind of like Sublime. It just has that.
The-
Out in this, just kind of out in the open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Of course, they brought
California.
like you said, they brought that Jamaican kind of ska thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of tends.
I even thought I saw
Give you
like Tejano vibe on it. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I guess so. So interesting. It was very a diverse album. I
Oh,
guess.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's a good way to say it. So
And it worked.
Their drummer is really great. I can't think of his name, but he just hits so hard. Like when you see him live, like just beats the crap out of drums, and I like that kind of anger and aggression on
Passion.
good, yeah,
Yeah.
Passion.
great stuff.
I remember seeing his MTV Cribs or whatever, and his drum set was set up in the wine cellar because it was completely soundproof. And he just sat down there and he goes, so I can play as loud as I want because his wife and his kid or whatever was upstairs. And he just did this quick little drum fill and he broke his stick in the middle of it. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
there you go.
That's rock and roll.
That
It
is
is.
rock and roll. So, but that is my pick. Riot Fest pick this week is Tragic Kingdom, no doubt. So,
I think it would have been more rock and roll if he would have thrown it out like there were people there.
Throwing out the camera.
or
camera.
or threw it through the glass because I'd imagine if it was an old wine cellar, it had the glass doors that break the fucking.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of like old wine bottles in there too because the house was really old.
Or even use the wine bottles as on the drum kit. So,
Yeah.
Like a Glockenspiel.
yeah,
Right.
so,
He's got the wine bottles.
yes, yes. Probably some vintage 1911 stuff in there. I don't know.
1911.
It's a good year.
Right. Oh, there's a good gun out of that year. Didn't we just talk about that? The gun, what was it?
1911 Colt.
Yeah, 1911 Colt 45. So, anyways,
Works every time.
yeah.
See how I brought it back to beer?
Yeah. There you go. Quake, man, what do you got for us today, man?
I got Beck's album Sea Change.
And you did just post this, and I did just watch this
Yeah,
part of
it's
it.
a lot different than anything else he's ever done before and since. It's really mellow. It's really just mostly him and acoustic guitar. There's obviously other instruments and stuff, but
Yeah.
I've always liked Beck's stuff, like his earlier stuff and everything he's done since. But this album was just more different. There's less thrills. It was more. It was more serious and more. It's more just way different. So I just kind of took to it more than I did his previous stuff because the other stuff's more fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
It's just more like party stuff, kind of like if you have people over at your house, you throw it on in the mix. This I'll listen to like when I'm just like if I'm actually cleaning my house, which hardly ever happens, or doing dishes or something like that. Then I'll throw that on.
We know nothing about that.
And so it's just I don't know. And I first heard it when I was working with my buddy up at Co-op, and he threw it on. I was like, what is this? I was like, it sounds like Becky. Oh, no, it is. It's Beck's new CD. It's before it came out or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right. So I started listening. I was like, this is really weird. So I started reading into it, and he, like, was going through, like, a divorce or something like that. So all of his songs are, like, pretty bummy and stuff.
So kind of one of those rough time albums.
Yeah, and the song I posted on your wall is, like, my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
And I heard it, like, the other day I was watching Scrubs, and it was on there. I was like... I was like, "Oh, there we go. That's what I'm gonna do."
Oh.
So, I don't know.
Just something easy, something mellow.
Something.
Obviously, you vibrate towards or you gravitate towards the music that fuck it, whatever.
That actually
more
has,
meaningful stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, really, actually, I think lately, like, I started to think about like all my picks I've had, and most of my picks are the strange albums in the person's discography.
Yeah.
What I was like looking like going through and stuff.
The forgotten ones.
Yeah, there you go. Actually,
Would that be the C-side?
Yeah, the side C. There
yeah.
you go. The seaside there.
The
deep tracks.
Yeah, there you go. The deep cuts. So like that's kind of I was thinking about. I was like going through. So maybe that's why I gravitated towards this one too, because it's completely different than anything else they've ever done, or he's ever done. Excuse me. And I don't know. He's a great musician. It's just kind of nice to see him just like kind of strip everything away and have no like. There's no
fancy stuff.
No frills.
What's the word? Or what's what Wilkin like? Parlor tricks. No parlor tricks.
No parlor tricks.
Yeah. It's just very. It's a very simple record.
Yeah.
Good driving. Well, no, not good driving record. You false.
Maybe not good driving record at like 3 a.m.
No. That's when you're like, if it's winter time, I drive with my windows down. I have to. I have a horrible.
So it's thoughtful.
Yeah.
Is that a good word for
Yeah.
it?
Thoughtful. Yeah.
Awesome pick, man. And like you said, you posted it, and I did listen to it.
I made you do your homework.
You did. And
I would like to go on the record here, though, as saying you're not really selling this record. Because you say makes you want to clean your house.
Fair.
And you can't listen to it while you're driving.
Yeah.
Well, you can just
I'm
listen
like,
to it at 3
okay.
a.m. You can't listen to it like at 3 a.m. when you're like driving home or anything like that. It'll probably put you to sleep. It's a mellow record. Maybe, okay. How about sitting back and relaxing and
tossing a few bags.
smoking
Well, how
a
long
little
does
bit.
it take to, you sweep a little bit, you throw some Febreze up in the air, you sit down and listen to the rest of the record.
Man, pretty much. There you go.
While the rest of the stuff is waiting to get done. Man, I really need to listen to this album right now.
While you're doing the
House is
the
clean.
Tetris thing with the garbage can, but I live by myself with my son, and he's not going to take it out. So it's just really I'm just playing against myself.
Yeah.
Seeing how high I can stack the stuff. But.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Garbage Jenga.
Yeah, there you go. That's better. That's better.
Did you see the adult Jenga? I saw somebody posted it.
oh,
on
the big
Facebook.
one?
Yeah, like the
No, it's like whenever you take one off, something's written on it.
Yeah.
Like
that's right.
snuggle the person next to you, or
Did
make
you guys
out.
see that?
5 minminutes in heaven, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
The closet for
It's like if I pull
7
this
minutes
out.
and-
7 minutes in heaven. That's what it was. Yeah.
You're gonna get the one that's like, oh, let's make out with the ugliest chick in the room. Oh shit!
Bad thing is that's always Jake.
It's okay. I'm ugly.
Although I like the new hairdo.
Yeah. I had a mop going on when you saw me last.
Yeah, dusty mop. So
That's what I've got going on, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
just shave it. Just shave it.
Yeah, I got a big old ridiculous head, so if
Yeah.
I shaved it, people would be like, have you ever seen the Popeye movie?
Yeah.
Remember Ox Blood, Ox Fart, or whatever that guy's name was?
Yeah.
The Sweet Sweet Haven song they sang, and that big guy boxing Popeye. That's what I would look like.
There you go. All right.
Ox Blood, Ox Heart, I think was his name.
I can't remember.
Something like that.
The Robin Williams one, right?
Yeah.
The live action.
That's what I look like with my head shaven.
Do you got a head shaving album here today for us?
This album is one that you would want to listen to, at least for the first side of it. This is Ritual de la Habitual by Jane's Addiction, or Juana's Adicción,
Oh, there you go.
as it were. This album it came out in 1990. It was their second album. It was a follow-up album to Nothing Shocking, which is in
Brilliant.
adult what they called college music in our day. It's alternative music now. It's the pinnacle. It's one of the top, probably 10, 5 at least. I mean, it's
Ever.
of all time.
Yeah.
And then this album did not disappoint either. The one of the big things with this album, and it's got a connection to the state of Illinois, is it had 2 covers. The original cover was an original artwork by Perry Farrell, who was the singer of the band, and it depicted 2 naked women and 1 naked man in bed together with, the sun rays behind them and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, Walmart and other major retailers poo-pooed it. They said, no way, you're not selling this. And if you look at this, and you look at some of the stuff that's out there now, it is so completely tame by standards.
Oh, yeah.
But back then, in the 90s, everybody was like, oh, hell no. The PMRC had their titties all in a twist over this one. And the connection to Illinois is there was down in Macomb, Illinois, there was a record store called Rockin' Robins. And then it was called Rockin' Records. It's gone now. When I just drove past it 2 weekends ago, they've closed it, which is a sad thing whenever you see a record store closed. But
It is.
it was called Rockin' Robin, and they were in the vicinity of a grade school. So they actually got fined for indecency for putting a poster of this album up in their front window.
They got fined?
They got fined. Yeah,
So
because it was in the close proximity of a grade school.
Was that the nail in the coffin for him? Or
That
was
was
this-
kind of the nail in the coffin. So
shit.
then they put up a plain white album cover with some very pointed things on it. It had the First Amendment, freedom of speech, printed on the front and on the back. This quote, I've always loved it, and I'm glad they put it in here, but it says, Hitler's syphilis-ridden dreams almost came true. How could it happen? By taking control of the media, an entire country was led by a lunatic. We must protect our First Amendment before sick dreams become law. Nobody made fun of Hitler. And so if you think about that, you're like, oh my gosh. Well, this was the beginning of the end for a lot of, the 90s were, what they tried to do was they tried to control what we could hear, what we could sell our children. What it did was it made, we've talked about this before, when you put that parental advisory sticker on a CD, it went through the roof.
Yeah.
You know,
It was
and
one to have.
it was, and when you're like, you look for those CDs.
Yeah.
You know, if you could have, like, Uncle Jimmy's Murder House, and it could have, boobies all over everything, and you would go right past that if it didn't have that sticker on it.
Right. If
If it had that sticker
added
Pat
so much.
Boone could have had an album with that sticker on it,
Right.
and you would have bought it
might
just
have.
because.
I want to hear Pat Boone say the F word.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and then of course, some of the songs, the singles off this album were huge songs. Everyone knows them. Stop, 3 Days, Been Caught Stealing, and Classic Girl. The funny thing about this album, or not the funny thing, the sad thing, I guess you could say, is tracks 1 through 5. When it was on the cassette, there's actually 10 minutes of silence at the end because they purposely did that. Because the first album is completely hard rock. It's completely, or the first side of the album rather, it's completely hard rock. It's completely, just really gritty. Dave Navarro is, an amazing guitar player, just off the chain. Always loved Dave Navarro. And then the second side, the tracks 6 through 9, are dedicated to a friend of Perry Farrell's named Zyla Blue, who passed away at the age of 19 of a heroin overdose. So,
Isn't she one of the chicks on the cover, too?
I believe, yes, that is the reference. That is actually the good catch there, Mr. Quake. The album cover, the artwork is actually called 3 Days, and that's what it is. It's them all together cavorting and doing whatever they were doing, and that's what when Perry Farrell sculpted that's what he sculpted it for him, and so. But that's when you listen to it and you take it in this context, the side B makes a whole lot more sense when you listen to it, and it's pretty sad ultimately. Thinking of a 19-year-old woman dying of a heroin overdose is devastatingly sad. But Jane's Addiction have long had a hand in hand with censorship and being told, well, you can't say this because it might offend someone. I think in the times that we're living in currently are among some of the craziest times when you can say one thing and someone's going to come because they are offended. They think that they have a right to tell you what you're saying is wrong, and that's fucked up. ultimately. And so, that being said, I'm not going to get any further into that, but I'm just stepping down off my soapbox.
Now, can I ask a question? Did you say the cassette version of this had the 10 minutes of silence?
Yes, the 10 minutes silence.
Now, I think we talked about that before, to where when, vinyls were fading out and the 8-tracks and the cassettes were coming in, they would purposefully do that because, they didn't think it was fair to the listeners of the vinyl or the cassettes or whatever, of the vinyls to have to, they can't just do this, and this. They would have to listen to the whole thing. So they added the silence, or LL Cool J had the version only available on a cassette that was, maybe wasn't offered with the vinyl, but it, it still kind of helped his music. But it had something like
and that goes to, like what we used to poke at Nez about with, the different albums having different songs or different artwork or that kind of thing. And this is one of those, if you can find an original pressing with the original artwork on it, that's something to have. I mean, I think it's been re-released with the new artwork because nowadays it's like nobody gives a damn. But back in 90, I remember in 1990, I was, sophomore in high school or junior in high school. So, and this was one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, I was still knee deep in, metal and all of those things. And there's enough of that type of thing on this album. Alice Cooper actually remarked about this album that he said, it says right here, I can spot traces of other people on this album, even us. Yeah. You could listen to Jane's Addiction and you could hear little parts of all kinds of different things, but it's little parts. It's not plagiarism or they're not ripping anybody off. And that's why this album stood the test of time, and it's still relevant, because it was such a firebrand at the time. Yeah. There are a lot of different albums you can look back at that time and think, I can't believe that, these people had to go through this hullabaloo to become where they are, but they stand the test of time. If they were crappy albums and people didn't give a damn, then they wouldn't have, made a big deal about it, I guess, ultimately.
Yeah. I just think it's cool because, like, the people in that band is kind of like bring such different aspects into it. Like Dave Navarro's guitar playing is completely just unbelievable and like heavy, but you got Perry's voice, which is just nothing like metal at all, nowhere near.
It's distinct,
and this is one of those things. They kind of flirted around with the idea of like what we've talked about before. With when you take a band and you use other people. And they become, but they still use the same name of the band. Like years later, Stephen Perkins, or rather Eric Avery, was replaced by Flea, and they still made it. It was still Jane's Addiction, and it's like when John Frusciante left, and then Enrique Marshall left from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Dave Navarro went and played with Red Hot Chili Peppers. The time from that period with Dave Navarro, I'm sorry, that to me is some of the best. Overall,
One Hot Minute.
Yeah, I mean that's just amazingly
good. It's just it's not Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's so good.
It's not. And I was trying to see because there was something I thought I saw something about Duff McKagan playing with. I'm serious. I'm not making that up. He played with Jane's at one point.
Yeah, that one's They recently he just played with them too, but I think he helped. He might have done something on that too. I don't know.
I couldn't find it. I thought I read it. Maybe I made it up.
No, recently he joined them on stage.
But generally, I have some connection to Deep Purple or Black Sabbath, and I don't really see one here. But but
I'm sure if you dug hard enough, there's 7 degrees of separation or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. But this is my pick, and it was, like I said, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek pick. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a great album. Yeah. It's definitely one of my top albums of all time.
And it wasn't one of those Thompson things where it's like, the first album.
Yeah, because nothing shocking. Nothing shocking. It's
I even like the record everybody hates by them. I can't remember what it was, Strays or whatever.
Strays?
Yeah, everybody hates that record. I thought it was.
Well, think about it.
That single was really great.
It went from 1990 when this came out to 2003 when Strays came out. That was the next album. Yeah. Jane's Addiction. Oh, man. They broke up shortly after this album and went and did their own things. Perry Farrell did.
Lollapalooza.
Well, he did Lollapalooza, but the band Pets was the song. Porno for Pyros.
Yeah.
He did Porno for Pyros. And then,
what did Dave do?
Dave Navarro did the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He did his own thing, I think. He played with somebody else. And then he did some acting. Oh,
And he did
Married Carmen Electra.
They married Carmen Electra. I think everyone in this room at one point has been married to Carmen Electra.
She was my first wet dream. I'm not gonna lie. I remember.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that like American Idol thing that they had for like rock stars that like rock? Oh, I think it was called Rock. It was like Tommy Lee, Jason Newsted, and
Oh yeah, where they made their own bands. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And then they played with the band.
yeah. And then they
Yeah.
picked the singers, and Dave was a host on that show, and I can't remember who played bass. Oh no, Jason Newsted. Oh, Gilby Clark, Tommy Lee,
Right on.
Gilby Clark.
Well, he also hosts that tattoo show now.
Yes.
Was it Bad Ink or Tattoo Guy?
No, it's
I don't
not
know.
Bad Ink. That's a terrible show. Don't
Yeah.
watch that show.
My friend Kim might know. I don't know. She
It was-
loves
it's
David.
Tattoo.
No, what is it? Oh my gosh.
It's like Tattoo Masters or something.
Yeah,
Ink Master.
Ink
Ink
Master.
Master.
There we go. Damn.
Very
It was
much.
something like that.
Thank you for all those snaps of Dave Navarro, Kim. I appreciate it. That's why I remembered it, because she always loves watching that show. So I know it's her, what is it, Tuesday night ritual. Sorry if I messed that up, Kim. Anyways. But
Yeah, he was on
he's-
Sons of Anarchy too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, we used to blare that. That's when those torpedo subwoofers used to come in.
Yes.
And you'd stick them under your seats. That was about the same time that album came out. So that album never came out of the tape deck.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just one.
And it was one of those things where people of all genres of music listened to this album. They listened to Nothing Shocking and they listened to Ritual because it was not, they didn't pigeonhole themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it was one of those things they
Said
did.
no pigeons.
They did what Maroon 5 is trying to do and failing. They took something that they did whatever they wanted to do on an album and they made it work.
Right.
Maroon 5 goes out there and they'll do 37 songs that sound nothing at all alike and it's all crap.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's a lot of teenage girls right now that are looking to kick my ass, but it's the truth.
Sorry.
You know, so you know that is it. I'm like I said, I'm down off my soapbox.
All right.
But
Great pick. Awesome pick, because, again, not everybody can go past the Nothing Shocking
right,
album. So, awesome pick, man. Thanks for bringing that one. But, I mean, it leads into Albert, why we kind of attract people like yourselves and our other sponsors and partners, because we like to talk about this kind of stuff.
Right.
The mantra stuff was awesome. You know what I did when I got done with that episode? I went home and I played it.
Did you?
And then I was like, I'm gonna listen to this again soon. So,
Right.
because
Good.
I'm
for you.
a Van Halen
Seriously.
fan.
Montrose kicks.
You
It's just
know,
one of those front to back.
a lot of the people,
Just
a
like
lot of
Desolation Alley.
yeah.
Same thing. You know, with Sweet.
well, that was
Sweet's
the
same
stuff.
way.
That was the stuff back as
Sweet's the
back
same
when
way.
those albums were coming out, and rock and roll radio was so much more different than it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, 97X, don't get me wrong, I don't want to try to fart on them, whatever else, but it's drivel anymore.
It's radio.
It's radio. But
Yeah.
back when we were
Radio
kids,
sucks.
you
Yeah.
could call up the guys on the radio and be like, hey, play Montrose, and they'd play it.
Right.
Right.
Where do you, can you do
It
that
took
now?
a little
No,
freedom.
Yeah.
It's like I said that one day, I called up 97X to play Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we've already played it this week.
This week.
It's too early to play Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I'm like, this week?
We have to wait till after 11 o'clock.
Jeff, you might know this one since you're all technologically sound. You have to download apps, right? iHeartRadio, Spotify's,
Yeah.
and I mean, which is great. It's a music service that gives you a diverse group of music, but it doesn't give you that intimate feel like we talked about with the radio hosts and radio stations.
Yeah.
So,
There's no more Wolfman Jack.
yeah.
Right.
Rick
However,
Dees
you
doesn't
can
do
write
it.
commercials.
Casey Kasem didn't do it.
You know.
Yeah.
You have to have a connection to your audience and not just reading off of your iPad or whatever with,
Yeah.
some,
Right.
with some fake,
Yeah.
filler news between songs.
While
because-
you're watching the
because
TV in the corner.
I used to work at Planet Fitness. Planet.
Planet 93.5?
Planet 93.5
Yeah.
when it first came out, and it was the same thing. You had to go off your list.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'd actually misplace something
Yeah.
so I could shove in something of my own.
There you
because,
go.
Right.
But there was you're just watching the seconds and you're playing the list.
But there was a chance that could happen back then. I remember when KFMH had Off the Beaten Track
Right.
with Roberto. I remember my band Dr. Mongo got played on Off the Beaten Track.
That's awesome.
And it's like, they played our whole first album. I wasn't on that album. I joined the band after that album. But,
Right.
they played the whole first album. And there was only a few songs, but, the fact of it was they played it. And they were all the guys were there, and we would call in, and there was banter.
Yeah.
You know, try that now. Try to get a
But
local radio station.
That was a good loose radio station. Captain Steve was like, you know, he went on the pirate radio thing because he was like the anti corporate radio stations. He's seen it coming.
Yeah.
You know, because of course he had to be in that business. So
I think the only two people that can play anything they want and they only do it like in the morning would be Dwyer and Michaels. They play before anybody wakes up. If you're up early like I am, sometimes I listen to them like just so I can hear what they play first. But they'll play like Iron Maiden. They played like,
and then they get complaints.
Oh yeah, and they played like they played Warrior Soul one day. They played because they can play whatever they want that morning. Because let's face it, I mean those
the
two
music's
are like
not really programmed.
Yeah,
it's not programmed.
Yeah, I mean
it's their show. I mean they've been around for so long.
I was talking to.
Well, but it's one of those things that those guys are they're just corporation wiener dogs, just like anybody else on the radio.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yep.
So, which is why they're professionals. So, but let me just I'll transition with this. Albert, what album do you got? Would it be able to be played on 93.5 back in the day, or?
Oh, absolutely. The
even
very
be played now?
first. I always go backwards.
Yeah.
So to revisit things that I probably didn't appreciate back then, or I didn't appreciate it enough.
Yeah.
And then I go back, I revisit it, and then I kind of soak up a little bit more, and now that I'm more mature. You don't blow things off. You know, when you're 16, you're like, I hate country.
Yeah.
Right.
Period. And you don't touch it. You know what I mean? Or you're just hard-headed, and it's just nothing but metal or nothing whatever. So I picked the first Ramones.
All right.
I think what they did for so many bands, I mean, they influenced just about everybody you can think of, not just the obvious like Green Day.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think there'd be a Clash. I don't think there'd be the Buzzcocks or the Misfits or so many other that got influenced by the punk influence. That punk movement was just kind of a bud, and I think they kicked it. They kicked it in the butt.
Right.
I think they blew it up.
The anti-Led Zeppelin movement.
Kind of, yeah. Well, and you got to figure that album came out in '76, so
mid
I mean,
70s.
76, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to put my old man glasses on for my stuff. But yeah, it was '76. Anybody want to guess how much it costs to make it?
$500.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 500.
$6,400, and they did it in 7 days.
And
Again, with the Montrose,
album.
and I didn't know that at first, just like the Montrose.
Yeah.
By the time they met, formed the band, that was a month. A month later, the album was out.
Completely
Montrose.
done,
In 2 months, they created the Montrose album, the band and the album. These guys did, they took 4 days for instruments.
Yeah.
They did it 4-track. They kind of did it they replicated the way the Beatles used to do it. They mic'd it. They put the vocals in the front. 4 days for music, and 3 days to do the vocals.
Yeah.
And they had Joey's brother do some backups, and a friend Leia do some backups. They don't put it on the album cover because I guess Joey said they didn't want anybody, since it was their first album, they didn't want anybody to be confused of who was all in the band.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but they did a demo. They did a 2-song demo, shopped it around. They got they were playing at that time before they recorded. They were doing, of course, CBGB's, Manhattan. So they got a lot of press in the Village Voice.
Yeah.
So they were kind of growing as a band. They were opening up for cover bands. Even after that album came out, they were still opening up for cover bands.
Yeah.
Until they decided not to. And they did a short tour in Britain, which really, I think, took hold there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it really sprung. I mean, they planted a seed over there.
Yeah, when you were going with the Buzzcocks and
it took off like crazy. But yes, $6,400, 7 days. If you listen to it, it's super. I mean, it couldn't be more stripped down rock and roll.
Right.
It's almost like hyper. You can hear almost the '50s influence, just like their look.
Oh yeah, they did Needles and Pins. They did
big time.
They did lots of stuff, and so there was a lot of that influence for sure. And if you look at their template of the '80s heavy metal guy was the Ramones. I mean,
absolutely.
Ripped jeans, black
motorcycle jacket, black hair,
and
sunglasses,
black hair and sunglasses for sure.
So I mean, definitely a cornerstone album, from back in that day. Now, when you go back and think about it, these guys were playing the CBGB. They got to play alongside on the same card as Blondie.
Well, that was the CBGB crowd then at the time. You know, the Talking Heads, Blondie,
Iggy
and the
Pop,
Stooges.
Iggy and the Stooges.
Yeah,
big time.
But then you have to think of course, that was what I consider American punk.
Yeah.
Because British punk, it was blossoming at the same time. It was like two different hemispheres of punk were coming together at the same time, and that's where you get the Clash and the Sex Pistols and that kind of thing. But if you look at it's like this twisted, wicked family tree of punk, because where you go from there, with the New York scene, quote unquote, then you go into hardcore music, and then the British music went from punk to new wave. Yeah. So it's like
it's a weird.
And it kind of moved. I mean, you can almost hear. I mean, so many '80s bands from Britain kind of adopted Joey's voice.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost you can almost hear some of the early U2 stuff in that direction. I think.
Well, yeah. If you remember
influenced.
the early U2 stuff, they all had black leather jackets and long moppy hair and the whole thing.
And you can kind of hear that. Like I said, even into the electronic age of all the crappy late '80s music, you can still hear his voice. They had just adopted that type of sound. But I think the album, if you listen to it, you can hear it's stripped down. Like I said, it's almost innocent, but it's also got a lot of dark humor in it.
Oh yeah,
right.
Like. What's the Beat the Brat?
Yeah, the Brat. KKK, take my baby away.
Yeah, Beat the Brat.
Yeah.
He said he wrote it because he was at the park and he watched, some snotty little brat in Manhattan. He was in New York and he was watching these parents, these snobby parents, and they're
not parenting,
not parenting, and they're snot, and he just wanted to hit him with a baseball bat, to straighten this kid out. So,
pretty straightforward, honest
Chainsaw
lyrics.
It's very simplistic,
Yeah,
and I said it kind of brings back. I just get a '50s feel out of it, and especially
definitely. And if you look at it, I mean, from the basic standpoint of it, in that time period, you look at 70, even 75 to 80. You look at the bands that were making albums at the time. Yeah. Zeppelin, Deep Purple, the rock bands.
Oh yeah, even Frampton.
Even Frampton.
Yeah.
All of these
you
things.
think of the bigger groups.
Right. And you're this little fat kid in his garage, and you're like, man, you listen to all these, and there's like, I can never play like that. Yeah. Well, then you get this, your buddy brings over this Ramones CD, and you're like, what is this? And you put it in, and 2 days later, you're playing Ramones songs.
Yeah.
Fact.
Oh yeah.
And it's and then you're like, well, I sound like the Ramones. That's why so many of these punk bands, even if you look at, we were mentioning Green Day. If you look at Billy Joe Armstrong when he plays his guitar, and Joan Jett is another one. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. If you look at how they play their guitars, where they're strung, even James Hetfield of Metallica, hanging it below their waist, and it's all downstroke.
And even the style of guitar.
Yeah,
it's a solid body, not fancy like a Les Paul or or a Strat or anything like that. Nope. It's just a.
It's what they could pick up.
They were Moss Right.
It's
he played the Moss Rights, that style. Dan Electro bought them, but they were Moss Rights. And I mean that's the thing.
Flat,
you could
simple.
go. Yeah, you could go get them
at throw around your bar chords.
Pawn shop
you
or
could
whatever.
go get them at Sears. I mean, they were they were that kind of a guitar.
The first act guitars almost.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah, they were definitely that of their time.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
And now, I would kill to have one just because of the look. That's that look that, that punk
and
look.
If you watch them in a must watch, which I watched.
All the documentary.
It's been a while. No, you watch the Ramones. It's Alive, and it's a British, and you can watch the entire thing. I think it's one of their best. I had fun watching it. Even though like I said, I dismissed them as when I was younger because I was into more progressive stuff, and they were like, oh, man, these guys are like Neanderthals, So I didn't appreciate them enough what they did and how they did it. I just kind of dismissed them back then, but then when I go back and look, you can see, like I said, their influences, it's everywhere. I don't care what you think about. I mean, headbanging, if you watch the crowd in any of their concert, they're headbanging in 1976.
Yeah.
Right.
Who, find me somebody else that back then in the 70s and the disco arrow coming
Right.
up. Show me another crowd that was headbanging, crowding the stage.
Yeah.
Just for fun, could you look and see how many albums that first record sold? Because
try.
it's criminal how little the Ramones sold.
Well, and the thing, yeah, and it was.
They were
it
so
was-
underrated, and then like you listen
Oh,
to
it didn't
like
take off at all.
basketball games to
Hey ho!
Yeah.
that's Ramones.
Hey, ho,
and they
let's
play
go.
it every basketball game
Yeah.
was to and it's the Ramones. It's like, and
Yeah.
they sold nothing, and now you got like these 13-year-old girls going into Hot Topic and buying all their shirts.
Ramones shirts, yeah.
You know, it's,
Same thing with the Misfits shirts.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
too.
You can buy those at Walmart.
They don't
now.
even know. Yeah, they don't even know who they are, but it looks
Yeah,
cool.
Right.
That's the only reason
Well,
somebody.
that's like whenever you see
buys one of them.
somebody like Lil Wayne wearing a Misfits T-shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you're
you
killing
don't
me with this.
Yeah, no
No.
clue.
You
Yeah.
know, but it goes back. The only other band that has a more clear lineage to that American style of music is the MC5, the Motor City 5, and they never really got that chance.
Yeah.
You know, the Ramones had nominal success. They were never
Very
huge. They were never,
yeah.
but in certain circles, they're revered as gods almost.
Well, honestly, if as sickening as it almost sounds, they were the first pop punk band. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, kind of, yeah.
yeah, they really
Because
were.
they got
Mainstream.
because they got media.
Yeah, that
You
and
know,
like
they
every.
were
I
on
mean, it was just
TV.
that pop, 4-chord, maybe
If yeah,
Maybe.
mostly three.
mostly 3-chord, minute and a half, 2-minute songs. It was against everything that was going on at the time. Like Led Zeppelin had 4-minute guitar solos.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The 20-minute songs. And they're like, against all that, they're like, let's just play 3 chords. Like you said, you could sit in a room for a day and learn the whole record. And they,
Next day,
yeah,
Just
yeah.
sit there and bang it out.
drum
Yeah.
some Ramones tracks.
Yeah, well, and what I really loved, one of their biggest fans was actually Kurt Loder from MTV. And he did all their liner notes for their re-releases, which, if you're any kind of fan whatsoever, I think you should pick them up because they have probably an additional 10 to 20 tracks on every CD. I think the first disc is the one that has a whole live show as the bonus content.
Really?
Yeah, because they can kick out songs because there's always 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always
Yeah.
between all, just about that was one of their little things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna
That
say,
was kind of funny.
Would that
Yeah.
even be like considered a Ramones thing? Like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Because he'd
4?
do it between just about every
Yeah.
song. Oh, no, Dave Long.
And then they kick
That was
in, they
it.
play for a minute and a half, and then it's like, this is Needles and Pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. And
Yeah.
they kick it into it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of. I mean, think about it. One of the worst things that ever happened. I went and saw. Well, it wasn't the worst things, I guess I should say, but I should just preface by saying, but it was terrible because I went and saw the Doobie Brothers with I can't remember who the guy was now. Not Bob Seger, but along that line. And he spent so much time talking about his equipment. And I'm like, he's like, this is my wah pedal, and this is what this
I
does.
thought
And
you
I'm
meant
like,
like junk or something.
no, I mean like his actual, and I'm sitting out there like,
part of the
it
act.
started raining. You know, it started raining, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, I'm looking up at the screen like, I've got one of this at home, jackass. Just get on with the fucking song.
right.
You know, play the hits. I don't want to hear about your wah pedal. I don't want to hear about your Les Paul. I don't want to know where your drummer's from. I don't care about that at this
Unless
point.
you got a really cool story where you got the guitar
Right,
from.
unless he's
Yeah.
like, unless he's like, well, one day I was walking along and there was this house full of nuns and it was on fire and I ran in and saved every one of them. And then, you know, they gave me this guitar
Gratitude, yeah.
from because it came from Jesus. And
some
then
filler stories.
So the
Right.
pick of
Then-
That's basically what he had.
that's exactly it's a pick of destiny, exactly.
Right.
Pick of Destiny.
Yeah,
At that
I don't
point-
mind that stuff, but like what you're saying pissed me off.
But it's like I can't remember. It wasn't Bob Seger, but it was. I
I
can't
think
think
it's
of
somebody that's
It's not Bob Seger, not. Oh hell,
John Denver.
John Denver.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Wasn't John Cougar Mellencamp either.
Yeah, John fucking Denver.
Okay, let's see. Bob Seger.
This is terrible.
No,
This is,
aligns with. Dun, dun, dun.
clue.
Huey Lewis. I
No,
don't know.
no,
Not
it would
even.
be
It wasn't George Thorogood. It was. Oh damn it!
No clue.
somebody from like the 70s though, like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit you in a few minutes.
It will.
Okay, while you're thinking about that, I just want to bring up another
I couldn't
band.
find a number. I couldn't find a
You
number
couldn't
on
find it?
that, but I know they went in. I stated it topped out at on the Billboard
Yeah.
At 111, and it stayed there. And
Isn't
then,
it?
but they never stopped touring. Period.
Right. And they never actually. I can tell you this.
Never stopped touring.
They never had a gold record.
Never?
Never.
No,
They never received a gold record.
no, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and like the cool stuff about like usually when like bands stop and then like the lead singer or another the other guys like the Dee Ramone solo disc.
Yeah.
Terrible, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The hip-hop one.
The Joey Ramone solo disc, flawless. Sounds like the Ramones, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's really, really great. But if you guys dig the Ramones and you guys like the Ramones, there's another band that came out before the Ramones. They're from Detroit. They actually have a documentary out. The documentary is called A Band Called Death.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't watched it, but I've seen it.
It's unbelievable. It's 3 black kids from Detroit making punk music before the Ramones. I think it was like 72,
Wow. Oh,
73.
shit. Cool.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, kid.
It's something that
catch
it's really cool.
It's worth checking out.
Oh man, dude, I've watched it 5 or 6 times. I've played.
awesome.
You can buy all their stuff now again. Like
Yeah.
they redid it. Like they tour now, which I think is kind of weird because the main guy that wrote everything and all that stuff, he ended up dying from alcoholism. But before he died, he went up to his attic and got all the master tapes from the first record, gave it to his other brother. Goes, so they're going to come looking for this one day. Hold on to it. And
Wow.
and
Behold.
and he goes, people are going to want to hear this someday.
Yeah.
And so, Jello from Dead Kennedys
Oh,
Biafra.
Jim Biafra, yeah.
found it.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, this needs to be heard. Because Jello's a huge record collector.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a whole room where it's just like, it's a record store,
Yeah,
basically.
he's probably got a record store in his basement.
And he's in that documentary talking about it. And one of the 7-inches sold for like over $2,000 on eBay. And the one of the brothers in band goes, if he wanted one that bad, I would have just gave him one. I got a whole stack of them sitting in my attic, you know. So he goes, but it's really cool. Like, there's old videos of him playing in like there's this attic, you know, with like with the mattresses over the windows, the whole nine, you know. It's a really cool
Duct
documentary.
tape holding it on.
Yeah, it's
When you were at Roosters, did you have to do that? Duct tape the mattresses and...
No, that's why we had the cops called on us.
No, there you go.
Because we had the
The
windows
open
open.
windows, yeah.
And we,
With the-
Ribco called the cops on us.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we were too loud.
Oh, that's funny.
We echoed through Rock Island.
Maybe you
corridors.
should have went with the mattresses.
So,
Mattresses are expensive.
so yeah, the spotlight, and the policeman's spotlight would come through the windows in the middle of the song, and
Hey, knock it off, you
yeah, we'd
assholes.
be like, oh man, not again.
We'll wait like 20 minutes and they'll leave.
Basically, go down, schmooze it
I'll
over
post
a little bit.
a band called Death on your wall, so you guys can
Yeah.
try. Well, you've already seen it. You
I'll
already
check
know
it
about
out.
it.
Yeah.
They're one of their best songs. I thought was "Keep on
To
Knocking."
write that down.
Yeah, they had a song called "Keep on Knocking," and it's about their neighbors trying to bust down their door because they're being too loud. Kind of like,
There you go. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a really cool documentary. It's
Were they neighbors in downtown Rock Island? Cause,
Yeah,
No,
we'd have other people throwing stuff through the window.
yeah.
And hitting the drum kit. That probably happened like 4 or 5 times.
So you have a happy
And then
mistake.
there'd be a party of people down there listening to us. They'd be just sitting on their cars drinking beer.
that's so.
And
see,
then,
that's something
hey,
that
can we come up? You
Yeah.
know, and it'd be like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You know, we got
That
an
happened.
audience.
That actually happened
Let's
to me
do it.
one time I was walking by the Tiger's Den,
Yeah,
and there was a band practicing upstairs.
probably upstairs. That was probably Mike DePaul actually, because
Yeah.
they had a space up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they heard us because they were playing like LA Guns and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh hell, these guys are awesome!" And then they,
Well, if that would have been down by Roosters, that
Yeah.
would have been us, because we did 2 LA Guns. We did. I mean, we were probably.
but they were like, "Come on up," and we hung out with
heck
them
yeah.
and
Might
you know
have been
jammed and
Yeah, it was
stuff.
probably
That's
the-
kinda funny.
It's
That
probably
could-
the DePauls. Yeah.
It may have been because
a
it
space
was
above the Clipper actually.
yeah. Was it? It was downtown by where where they got the
Subway.
subway now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was,
is that the Clipper?
That was the Clipper.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the Yankee Clipper. Tigers Den was next door.
You know, we were born in the
We
wrong
gotta throw.
time.
We gotta throw.
I have
Mike's,
said that
We gotta
since
throw
Mike
Mike's
DePaul.
name out there. Mike.
Yeah,
DePaul's
he's,
name out there. Yep.
Fan of the page, fan of the Traders page too. So
Known Mikey since 9th grade.
we might have
Okay,
to
I'm
get
getting
him.
close. Was
Jam
the guy's
before.
name Steve? Is there Steve?
Oh, Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller, there it is.
Thank you. Oh my god. I was like, oh, my brain isn't working.
Joker.
Yeah, dude, it was terrible.
But anyway, I wanted to mention the album work too, because it's one of the most copied album covers ever. If you think of the album cover of just the Ramones leaning up against a brick wall, how many times have you seen that on an album cover since?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
on all genres.
The back of it, Skid Row? Skid Row did it. I mean, you can probably think of a million of them from even Rod Stewart probably did it at some point.
Right.
Somebody, the band always stands up against the alley brick wall.
Right.
I mean, that's the Ramones.
Sure, Wu-Tang.
The back of it is a belt buckle.
Yeah.
There's Too Fast for Love.
Right.
In a hyper form.
Right. Right.
But just a belt buckle.
Or
Vince
even
Neil's.
Sticky Fingers. Didn't the Stones do that with Sticky Fingers?
Well, yeah.
Sort of. I mean,
Belt buckle.
kind of the front of the pants whole thing. Yeah.
So, but it was just a simple, and it cost them $125 to get the rights for the photo for the front, because they actually took photos that cost $2,000, but they all turned out like crap because the guys just were not posy type of guys.
Right.
And so they took the editor for, I think it was either Punk or the Village Voice, took a picture of them. No, it was Punk magazine, I think. Took the picture of them for the magazine for an article, and they ended up buying the rights to that picture for $125. That ended up being the album cover.
Oh, so
And she said it was like pulling teeth trying to get them to pose.
Yeah.
Because they just
didn't
want to do anything.
Yeah.
They just want to stick some glue.
So it's a must. You got to have that in your album.
Oh yeah, there's
you have
no
to
reason not to. I mean, you got to almost have the whole discography, honestly.
But check out that It's Alive concert in its entirety in Britain.
All right.
In 1977.
There's probably 80 songs on there.
Yeah, because they're all 2 minutes long.
Yeah, they're all 2 minutes long.
All minutes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, there you
The
go.
4 seconds of it are doing that. So, but awesome pick, man. I mean, quick little side note. I think I talked about this before too. They the last the last record store day, they had Morrissey curates the Ramones. I didn't pick it up. I wish I did. I think I might have to find it on eBay. Wow. So that's a little bit of an interesting twist on that because we all know how we love Morrissey. So
Well, I've got here where somebody did where Happy Family a tribute to the Ramones in 2003.
That is an
Did
amazing
anybody know
disc.
that?
It's worth checking out.
The Eddie
Chili
Vedder.
Peppers,
Metallica.
Rob Zombie, John Frusciante.
so quite the
U2, Metallica, we're on there. I forgot all about that until I just seen this.
quite the amalgam of bands on that.
Eddie Vedder's version of I Believe in Miracles is flawless. It's so different than, like, Green Day's on there too.
Yeah,
And I think they do Outsider, right?
that I don't know.
Metallica does 53rd and 3rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Green Day sounds just like the Ramones. It's almost
Carbon copy.
to the point where it's like not a tribute. I think because you just like playing the song.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder's version of I Believe in Miracles is great. I love that. That's like my favorite track on that whole CD. It's a great disc all the way around. Metallica doing 53rd and 3rd is really awesome.
Because that's not one of the,
I like Dee Dee's version. Dee Dee sings that song on one of the bonus cuts of one of the re-releases that they did, and I like Dee Dee's version better because he's more angry.
He does Warthog too.
Warthog, and he does.
That's I mean, if you listen to the early Ramones stuff, so much of it was that 50 is kind of a rockabilly vibe to it. But Warthog
it
was
kind of had a
just
dark innocence to it.
yeah.
It was
Warthog
innocent.
was just unadulterated punk.
Yeah.
There was nothing. I mean,
Well, and the album doesn't even touch how, if you see them live, it's so much different than the album. The album is so much, it's clean, it's slowed down.
Yeah.
It's almost slow compared to. That's why I keep saying it's Alive, the Rainbow in 1977 in Britain. YouTube it because that's how you want to see the Ramones.
Yeah.
Because
and unfortunately,
that's
we'll
it.
never get that chance, because with the deaths in the Ramones and the different personnel changes that they've had over the years.
Yeah. How many Ramones can you name?
Yeah, like
Let's play that game.
80 of them.
80 of them.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there was like
there's
a
Joey,
Mikey,
Johnny, Dee Dee, Marky,
Mikey. I'm
Johnny.
sure there's a Mikey.
Joey, Mikey, Who did I?
Steve,
Okay. There was
Albert,
There was-
Mike,
there was
The first-
John.
Joey, Johnny,
Jeff.
Dee, Marky.
Dee Dee.
That's
Ferg.
a Dee.
Oh, you did.
Damn it!
Is there
Now I gotta
Frank
write him down.
Ramone?
Come on.
Yeah, you always forget. You always forget Elvis,
Elvis Ramone, yeah.
and CJ,
And Satan Ramone, maybe.
and Richie.
Oh, Richie.
The one,
Nah,
Richie.
the one
For sure.
thing.
So I had most of them.
Yeah,
They
you had,
all-
you had the real ones.
Yeah.
The one thing they all have in common, and we all have in common, I think we just like to sniff and glue. That's all. Just like I said earlier, I'm.
You know what's funny?
You
Little
want to go to
side.
53rd and 3rd and turn some tricks too?
Yeah, why not?
There was a little. I remember when I was younger. Probably listening
sniff
to the
glue?
remote. No, I didn't sniff glue. I had poison ivy real bad. I'm ridiculously allergic to poison ivy. And my mom took me to the Franciscan, which is now whatever they call it, Trinity or whatever they call it now.
Still Franciscan.
But it was I still call it Franciscan
That's
too.
where I was born. Yes.
And so I was in there, and I'm in horrible pain because actually it gotten into my blood stream, and I was like a tomato. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in with this huge mohawk.
Sweet.
I mean, it was like 3 foot tall, and this guy's fucking wasted. And they're like, for like, Dee Dee, were you sniffing glue again? Yeah. And this guy was hammered, just completely blown for life. And I was like, oh my God, I'll never sniff glue.
He was completely, he was a Ramon fanatic. His name was Dee Dee.
And in all reality,
That's awesome.
he was probably high on heroin and all kinds of all that stuff.
But you could tell the guys that sniffed glue because they had shit around their nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Their noses were, because it's not so much of a thing nowadays. Like, I don't remember if you remember, guys used to sniff Rush. It was called Rush. It came in a little red bottle.
Oh God! When down in Rock Island they had two like hippie shops.
Yeah. There was the buffalo.
Rolling Thunder.
There was the one with the buffalo in the
Yep,
window.
that's mushrooms.
Yeah, and then there was.
There
were two head
he
shops.
He
down
actually
there.
has an antique shop out in LeClaire now.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he used to
maybe-
teach kung fu.
Maybe it was the
That
one that you
was,
bought vinyl at.
There was White Silver Sands.
And Hattie's or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
White Silver Sands and Rolling Thunder were across from each other.
Yeah, and there
Now
were
it's
two
the-
head
now
shops,
it's
and you
the-
could go in there and you could buy what was called Rush, and it was in a little bottle, and basically it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was
Pits.
brutal. I mean, because you would open it and you would sniff it, and then your nose would turn all orange and brown and shit,
And then you would wake up.
and then you'd wake up and it was like heroin.
It was,
So what's that movie where they do this shit and it's silver?
Whippets, hippie
Mad
crap.
Max.
Max,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mad Max. They did it.
Oh,
in
they
Rome.
sprayed on their
Yeah,
face.
they're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's time to go.
The new one.
Yeah, the new Mad
Fury
Max.
Road.
Yeah.
sniffing spray paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But essentially what it was. So,
Wow.
but really awesome picks tonight, guys. Albert, you kind of got in a little bit of a 2-for-1 there. So with the two albums, I'm gonna check both of those out. By the way, I'm gonna check all these out. But the two Ramones, the one tribute one too. So
Get 'em all.
Got lucky there. So
Yeah, the tribute one's really, really good. It's not one of those cheesy tribute records that
Yeah.
you can find. Because, I mean, they all... Actually, what we're talking about real quick, that tribute record, I think, is a good attest to how influential they were, because it's not just like random no-name Joes playing on the record.
Right,
You
that
got
happened so much back then.
Yeah, you got Metallica, you got Eddie Vedder, you got Green Day, who at that time was... Well, that was right before American Idiot broke. But, you know...
Well, they were still.
Well,
I mean,
they were still...
right after Dookie,
Dookie, I mean, they're huge.
they became huge.
But they had that second wave, like when my sister got into them and stuff.
yeah, like the
young-
newer,
the new, like the
Yeah.
American Idiot
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff. When that
All
got
the
huge,
shirts everywhere.
yeah.
yeah.
with the little fist and the hand grenade.
You know, when they played at the Mark during American Idiot.
That's the Wireless Center for you newbies.
Yeah. You know how much money they actually had to pay to bring that tour in?
No.
$1 million.
Jeez.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Well, because I was working someplace and the lady that would come in and say, "Well, we're trying to get them in," but
promoters.
yeah, Cedar Rapids was offering more, so they offered them $1 million.
Oh.
And they brought them in, and they just took they take percentage of everything,
Yeah.
obviously. And that's the only time I got to see Jimmy Eat World live. So
Man.
it irritates me.
Oh. Well, I would
There's
like
a bunch
to.
of random news.
I would
Yeah,
like
that is
to
definitely
be.
one of the best tribute albums. There was a lot of tribute albums back then. Some of them really sucked. The Nativity in Black one, tribute to Sabbath, was really good. But that was another really good. I had forgotten about that album until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah.
I forgot about it until
We saw it.
I kind of did my research.
So I think we got some pleasant homework to do with listening to that album. So, but Albert, dude, thank you so much
thank you,
for
sir.
short
Thanks
notice.
for coming up.
Appreciate it. Next Level Fitness, you guys check it out. Great facilities here. Hey, if you ask him nicely, he might show you the kiss rings. So, Next Level
He may let you
Fitness.
kiss the kiss ring.
Oh yeah, there you go. Bow down,
Kiss my
sir.
ring.
Yeah, kiss.
30.
Chris.
Nobody
Now
wants
he's
to.
getting personal.
3102 29th Street in Moline, Illinois. Next Level Fitness.
Could have said kiss my ace.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get that that logo up there and then the address up there on for you. Come pick up a card. They're awesome. They're great staff here. And you know,
I
again,
graduated
thank you.
with one of them, evidently.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
No, everybody knows somebody up here.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Awesome.
Yeah, even Kevin Bacon.
No, there you go. It probably does. So, but again, thanks for hosting us tonight, man. Thank you for our sponsors, Ragged Records, Ribco, Turntable Tuesday, every Tuesday. Next Level, of course, the Pool Man, Mark Reedy. Make sure you go like the Side C page and then give us a share. Wilkins, man, you got us like 50 in one.
I blew it up.
Like
yeah.
5 hours, even.
Because, you know, it's like we said, I didn't want this to become something of a stepchild or for this to lose any traction because it was gaining so much traction.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went on and basically shared, I sent invitations to everyone on my Facebook page.
Yep.
And yeah, I got like 50 people.
I suggest you all
yesterday.
listening do the same.
Please.
And
do.
so, and I'm going to share the hell out of it, even though I tried to post it because I was the first one to see it.
Yeah.
Because I saw it when he must have been right when he put it up.
Oh, yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
the first watch. The first
Yeah.
view was me.
Yeah.
Because there was 0 when I watched it, or listened to it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I tried to post it on the page, the Side C page, and I couldn't do it. So,
Well, we'll get it up there.
so I must have been. I must just be. You know,
Spreading
I'm
the
the new guy.
disease.
Yeah.
I'm the new guy, but I posted it on my page.
Yeah, you
go.
did. Yeah, you did.
So,
But really quick, just before we sign off here, Albert, we want to thank you for sticking on board, and we will be glad to slap you on whatever we can to help you guys out here at Next Level. You've been great to us, so thank you so much.
yes, thank
We're
you
all
very
friends.
much.
Being a fan
Yeah.
of music, being a friend of music, we just appreciate everything you guys do for us, and that includes our listeners and our other sponsors. But again, a personal thank you from us here at Side C. So again,
It's because it's real easy to like a page on Facebook.
yeah.
And it's a different thing completely when you actually step up.
When
and
you're
like,
involved.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're involved.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll get involved in that.
Exactly.
Don't be a spectator.
Yeah.
Go out,
Right.
Get the music.
It's pretty easy to come hang out with us. We're pretty.
Listen to us.
We're
whenever.
missing our-
You're lucky you
yeah.
can't see us because we have faces for radio.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a goddamn good looking man. I don't know what he's saying.
We're missing our.
I'll let him speak for himself. I'm a goddamn good looking man.
We are some interesting looking characters, but that's what makes the Side C
Because I'm a
podcast.
handsome man.
Yes, that's what makes the Side C podcast what it is today, man. We are just raw, natural, and we don't got any bullshit to
We
hide.
are sitting
so-
here all natural.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are. We are all
Yeah.
naked right now. Isn't that right, Gunther?
Yes.
Yes. So check out all the sponsors, like all the pages. Please share. That's how we get this out and about. Make sure you guys like the links when we post them. Check them out. Please listen to them. They're great. But we can't thank you guys enough for sticking with us. And anybody got any parting words of wisdom that we could end on?
Just to say, don't take yourself too goddamn seriously.
Yeah.
You ain't any better than anybody else. And if it pissed you off, well, maybe you need to be pissed off.
Yeah. So,
Ultimately.
hey, we're approachable guys. So anything you guys want to talk about, hey, we're
I think we
always
should start
here.
giving the sponsor the final word.
Yeah, you want
there
to
you go,
find
yeah.
a word,
Yeah,
Albert?
yeah,
That's a
sure.
good idea.
Be cool. Stay in school.
Yeah, Albert Myers. That's all
I like that.
Very good. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for listening. See ya.